Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I've got with me special group. We all went to see the Acolyte episodes 1 and 2 in the theaters, became instant friends, and really loved everything we saw about it. We have here tonight Emmanuel, we have Julie, Angelo, and Daniel. Guys, I am saying Emmanuel right, correct? Because
Yeah. You
I
got
am
it.
so,
You
yeah.
got it, bro. You got it.
Hey, you'll get this that I'm eventually going to be really bad at names, and I'm really bad at some of the Star Wars names, and I try, and I just screw up.
Don't worry about it. I'm too. I forget everybody's name, bro.
Uh-huh. How's everybody doing tonight? Good?
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't complain.
And hello out there to anybody who's joining us live. We're going to be kind of bouncing around, talking about roundtabling the episode 4 of the Acolyte, the episode called Day. We'll throw things out there. If you have anything you want to say or any thoughts or any questions, please answer them, and please send us little messages in the chat. Yeah, guys. So the episode Day. Well, actually, before we even get into that, I do want to go through one thing from episode 3 last week. One thing that I noticed that I completely forgot to mention last week. And it was a really small little moment, and I want to get your thoughts on this. It was right when the Jedi ended up by meeting the Night Mothers and the group there, and you saw, and you can't see it properly here, but there was cold breath on each of their voices. See the cold breath that's in there?
Yeah.
Yet, none of the Night Sisters, Night Mothers, anybody else had cold breath. It was only the Jedi, I noticed, who had this
Interesting.
cold breath coming out of their mouth. I do not know if this is something related to the side of the story we have not yet seen. I don't know if it was just Night Sister magic, making them feel uncomfortable. Any thoughts about that at all? Because it was quite an interesting moment, I thought.
I think, probably the latter. Yeah. Just like the Night Sisters just messing with them a little.
Could be, yeah.
Because we've
Yeah,
seen stuff like that like before, kind of.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, because I feel like as soon as they stepped into like their domain,
Yeah.
especially what's her name? The other mother,
Coral?
Coral.
Coral,
How
yeah.
she used her magic on
Torben,
on Torben. Like I feel like that was I feel like she probably instantly hexed him as soon as he came in there. Or maybe that was a part of their magic. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I feel like it was. They
Yeah.
for sure did something as soon as they
I
got
mean,
it.
if it's not related to anything else, I mean, you got to pay, brilliant respect to the thought process of these little minute details that they were felt unwelcome. If that's the case, they were felt unwelcome. So you got this cold breath coming off them because of this chill thing. I think that was just a great thought process. Again, we don't know if it does have a greater meaning, but it was something I just wanted to take note, and it just takes note also into the how much thought has gone into this show, and the process of it all. So yeah. Anyway, one thing I also want to note that I saw this week, a list of the directors have come up on list now here. So episode 3 was directed by someone called how's that pronounced?
Kogonada. Kogonanda.
Kogonanda. Okay.
I can tell you.
And this director is also going to be directing episode 7. So I'm going to assume this director is going to be doing part 2, and episode 7 might be part 2, the other side, the flip side of what we saw. Because we do know that the director of this week, Alex Garcia Lopez, is also directing next week's episode. And because it feels like this 2-part arc that we're about to get, it feels like that's going to be quite the cliffhanger into next week. But yeah.
Yeah,
So,
bro. That cliffhanger, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
that was frustrating.
Brutal.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, we'll get into the ending a little bit later. Let's start with what we thought of the episode. So let's just go in order. What were your thoughts on this episode, guys?
I feel like it was very a chill episode until the end. Like they didn't really do much. They were just in the Jedi Temple in the beginning, and then they pretty much, it was just them getting to what's his name? Kondaka. See, I'm bad at names too.
Kanaka.
The Wookiee.
Yeah.
Like
Kelnaka, yes.
Dead Naka. But
Oh man, you had to go there, didn't you?
Spoiler alert.
By the way, thank you. Yes, we are going to be spoiling episode 4. I keep doing that. I forget. We are going to be talking about episode 4, obviously a roundtable. So we are going to go into deep spoilers here. Sorry. Continue.
No, but yeah, I feel like it was a pretty slow episode until the end. So,
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah, I thought it was very dialogue heavy, and not in a bad way. I'm a fan of dialogue, but there was a lot of throwaway lines in there that made you think twice about what really is going on. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Angelo?
Yeah, kind of same here. It was more of like, they're just talking the entire episode kind of, and just until the very end where like the action start picking up with a lot. Like I was like, okay.
Yep, Daniel?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the runtime is too short. I feel like with a live action Star Wars show, I wish it could be longer.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was a good episode.
How long was it? Like 28 minutes? Like
it was sub 30. So.
The credits,
Yeah. By the time you take out the beginning,
that's crazy.
Sneak previews and the end trailer, it's probably around 28, 29 minutes total. Maybe 30 at the most. Yeah. It definitely felt a little short. I wish it was longer. Obviously, it's part 1 of a 2-parter. We got that at the end of the episode. I did like a lot of the stuff going through it. And as I said, we'll kind of do a bit of a breakdown as we kind of go, and we'll just talk about scenes and sequences and stuff like that. And I do also, I've got a few questions I'll throw out there along the way. We kind of, sorry, wrong one. Yep, we did. We started off seeing some landscape of Kofar, and we see Kalnaka there. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the production design on this, because there was some really cool stuff going on here. We've got the artwork that there's a lot of symbolization in there, especially when it comes to around Mother Anesa and her symbol that's there. So it's obvious that there was some sort of lasting imprint, something that is constantly on Kanaka's mind here, obviously, and it's formed in his artwork, in his living space, which makes it kind of interesting. Any thoughts on the opening scene, guys?
Yeah, on the markings, I thought it was pretty cool that we see the yin and yang symbols.
Yeah,
kind of representing the twins.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
And then you see May's symbol that she has she got from that ritual.
Yes.
So I wonder. It makes you think what happened to that time to make Kyonaka think about their magic, their whatever, their like what's like their symbols. It makes you think,
Yeah.
It kind of makes me wonder why it's there. Is it like in remembrance of the coven, or as a trophy for what they did?
Or is he studying it?
That's what I was thinking too. Like he kind of was studying, like after like it left such a massive impact on him, like that the incident, whatever happened, that like after he went to exile, he kind of just was like trying to study, figure out what it means, and like all the stuff behind it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking at least.
Any other
I agree with Franco.
Yeah. I mean, it also could be like, we saw what the effect was on Torben, and he put himself into isolation for 10 years from the event. So, I mean, I wonder if it's a trauma. I mean, could it be a trauma as well? And, unfortunately, a sequence had been, briefly shown with a fight sequence in a future episode.
Yeah.
So
And
a flashback.
A flashback, but I mean a future past, kind of thing, and so there was obviously a trauma there that may have come from that too, and so I'm curious to see how that plays out. But it was only a very brief scene. It was like, we got Kanaka at the beginning. I'm thinking, oh, good, we're going to get a lot of Kanaka going on here. I don't know. Well, that moved on. Then we jump across over to the Jedi Temple, and we've got a bit of training going on. We've got a brand new Jedi teacher here, Master Lakshay, Lakshay, I think his name.
Was he from Game of Thrones, or am I?
No. I don't think so. I feel like, I don't. It felt like it was a Torben. Different actor altogether. I don't think he is. But here's the one thing I forgot to check this out. Actually, I was going to say the training with the wooden sabers, I think, was a really cool thing, because if you consider the fact that Jedi who were even younger than these kids were in Revenge of the Sith are all training with Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, training with lightsabers at that young age, and here we see that they're just training with wooden sabers. It was an interesting kind of thing to me. Any other thoughts about the?
You seen how they were twirling that bad boy? Imagine if it was lightsaber and you mess up, arm is gone.
Sure. Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah. I think it's probably the wooden saber because they're at more of a time of peace right now. There's less threats in the galaxy. They don't need to accelerate their training as much as they would during the prequels.
Right. Yeah.
Not at war.
Clone Wars is literally Clone Wars. Yeah, they were commanders, the Padawans, even just the Padawan.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. No, totally. I just thought it was a really nice sequence though, and it kind of definitely separates what we have seen from the prequels at least, and showing more of that. Now there is a lot of training with. Again, when it comes to the books, I haven't read many of them, but I believe that the Padawans do train with lightsabers anyway. At some point, they have to get their lightsabers. But they also these kids seem a lot older at that point in this whole flashback sequence anyway.
It looked like they were probably all Padawans, probably.
Yeah. Or even, exactly. Yeah, they're all Padawans, so they're still training with wood sabers. It was interesting. It was cool. We jump across and there's a lot of communication between Osha and Jackie, and I think it was kind of cool to see the sibling Padawans to Master Soul, and I like that.
I got some a little different.
Well, first of all, I thought it was siblings because they essentially share a dad, which is Master Soul.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I mean in that sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, I think Jackie's a teenager,
and Osha's like,
Osha's like 24.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, but there is a nice connection. You know what I mean, though. There's a connection there that I like, because they had a couple of conversations throughout the episode. It was just, again, as you said, guys, it was definitely a lot of talk in this episode. But I think that we advanced a lot of the character development and stuff like that along the way. And then we jump into what is being considered a controversial moment of this episode. We jump into a Jedi Council chamber of sorts, and we see Akudi Mungde from, the prequels.
There he is.
Now, me personally, I don't care what age he is, but there seems to be a lot of people that are kind of going crazy. Anyone want to talk about this?
I mean, they're aliens. I feel like if you're not a humanoid like Soul or Osha, I feel like that, like, especially if you're alien, I feel like that like broadens your age. Like, they can do, like, you can make them as old as you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Vernestra. I mean, at this point, she's probably like 100 years old or something.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know people are upset that it changed what his previous age was, but his previous age was only stated in Legends, so we have no
it doesn't really matter,
material to go off his late age.
Yeah.
So this is the first time, like, it's not rewriting anything, so I don't see the reason for it to be an issue.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I honestly wasn't even expecting that character to even pop up, and I'm kind of happy it does. It does set some sort of a tone that, the Jedi Council, especially the members of it, and we obviously know that Yoda is up there because of the High Republic books, but those characters are and have been there for a very long time. And
also gives me hope that we might see Yoda actually pop up in the show, because they said we're not going to see anyone that we know, but then he just pops up right now. So
that's it. Yeah.
I'm 100%
sure.
Sure.
Tongue in cheek with it. They're a little tongue in cheek with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see Yoda.
Yeah, I'm aware of one other character that's supposed to be visually seen, and I'm not going to mention the character's name. He's like a side character that is also part of the council, but I won't.
Oh, I think I know.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
I know the books. I know who's there.
Yes. Yeah, again, that's if that character pops up, that's whatever. But it is kind of fun.
I think they should have had him say, "What about the Sith attack on the Wookiee?" That would have been so funny.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Well, that was the one thing that I noticed from this episode. So after this little meeting that these characters had here, and Saul's kind of saying, "Well, we didn't know this." He has a conversation with Vanestra outside.
Yeah.
But here's the one I want. Here's the next question I want you to kind of what your thoughts are. Out steps Kyrie-Munde and this other Jedi, and they're just sitting there. And they're sitting there.
Yeah, just trying to eavesdrop a little bit.
That's it. Yeah. Any thoughts, guys? I mean, it's such a small thing. I couldn't find many.
I think they just love the gossip.
There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do.
It.
So everybody...
And like after this episode too, like I feel like we know that Kyrie-Munde is literally like the biggest rumor starter, probably too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, he probably is. It's probably.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. I also thought it was interesting that during that scene they like made it a point to say that they weren't gonna tell the High Council.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it makes me think who's on the High Council at this time. I haven't read any of the books, so I don't know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know Daniel, right?
But even then, the High Republic stuff.
I don't know either. Just Yoda is all I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know if Kyrie-Munde's mentioned any of the High Republic, so maybe he's a relatively new, a new.
Yeah, I'd assume he's younger at this point. Yeah. So, I'd assume he's a newer Jedi.
Yeah,
and then they have an alien. They have an alien that looks like Plo Koon as well with the Jedi.
Yeah. That actually, I was gonna bring that. So ultimately, hang on, I do have that down there. Hang on a second. Wait, where's the image? Wait. Yeah, I had all my notes in here, and I'm like, But yeah, a character that looks like... So they've officially confirmed this character is called Ithna Pan. And it's not Plo Koon. And he is, obviously, he's a Keldor, which is part of his race.
Same race.
Or her race. I don't know the gender there exactly. I'm guessing...
It looks like a female.
It could be.
Okay, I don't know.
But same thing. It's like, it's cool that we see this passing. I would like to see one of Ahsoka's race and another one of them kind of pop in again, because we saw that just throw them in there that they've been around for a while. But that's hope and speculation. But yeah, we've got. We've got a couple of familiar alien races. Again, we're seeing quite a few different, species running around. We've got this little guy here, which was kind of a cool, interesting background. Apparently, he's called a Talafar. I don't know if that character has come up in the... is that a book character, do we know? Or?
He's in the Bad Batch, one of the
baby.
Yeah.
That's it! Oh my goodness! Okay, why did I forget that? That's it, yes. Of course, yes, Bad Batch. Duh, why did I miss that one? It's been a long week. I haven't had the chance to do my full research. I just, again, it's like, it's cool that they've got all these, different creatures, different races, all that sort of stuff passing through. And again, it makes it feel very Star Wars, doesn't it? Which is kind of cool. Let's see. So, moving on, Kumir, I can't pronounce his name. Kumir.
Let's just call him Q.
Q. I
don't know either.
Yeah, he had a very cool ship. I
think you got it right the first time. I think it's Kumir.
Kumir. Yeah. It starts with a Q. Qimir. Yeah. Anyway.
We'll go.
Yeah, anything with a Q. We'll go with Q. We'll just call him Q for sure. I thought the ship was really kind of a cool ship design. We get a little bit of stuff going on between May and him. I'm going to throw in question number 2 at this point. Do we think that he is this Sith apprentice or Sith Lord, because we don't officially know? Or do we think
obvious?
It's way too obvious. I hope he's not. It's way too obvious.
This episode was pretty much him like hanging up a banner saying, "I am this."
It's kind of just like it made it very obvious.
There was also, and again, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, obviously, but when he was walking along with May at one point when they were trying to find Kalnaka, he starts talking in the I and then we, and he was referring to himself in the second person kind of thing too, which was, again, I don't know if it was a throwaway line or whether it was a very purposeful, nod, or I don't know how they're going to play this, because usually Star Wars in the past has given us pretty basic, simple things. What you see is normally, for the most part, what you get. We haven't really had a full mystery, but I think the idea to create a really good mystery, especially in Star Wars, is to absolutely lead us on. So he's becoming more of a red herring for me rather than a locked in kind of thing. So,
are we going to talk about the Sith?
We'll get there. Yeah, let's build this up a little bit, because I think that's where we're gonna really go into, with a lot of our talk at this point. Yeah,
I honestly hope not, because I mean they are making it super obvious. Yeah, and I think this is a mystery show, so I'm hoping that we get a twist.
Yeah.
When we talk about the Sith character, I'll bring up some.
Okay. Yeah. No. Totally. Yeah,
things that I think.
Yeah. For sure. We see a little bit of Pip at one point again. So again, I was just taking. I didn't have as much time to prep for this week, unfortunately. We get Yord back in the ship and everything. Okay. So they brought a lot of Jedi with them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Let's call them red shirts. If anyone's into Star Trek.
When I saw slap a red shirt on them.
We will call them the no-name Jedi, because they don't have a name, they don't have any speaking lines, but my God, they're gonna die well. That's my guess.
No, 100%. They're fodder. Yeah. They're gonna get.
Oh yeah.
Bantha fodder.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Keldor in there. We've got
that one guy. That one guy did have multiple lines though. In the picture, the one on the left, or was it the one on the right? One of them. One of them with the beards.
Yeah, one of them had a couple. Yeah, so he might survive, but maybe not. But maybe not. But maybe not. But I have to admit, I did laugh when doing my reaction video. I was like, yeah, okay. We've got enough of them to know that this is going to make an indent to do some damage to the Jedi. We were also introduced to another interesting little character, Basil.
I love little weird Star Wars characters. They're always the greatest.
I know. They are.
Star Wars
characters.
The greatest.
His scream when he seen May.
That's funny. Yord is sitting there also going, "He's found May." It's like, It was the same scream. It was so yeah. This character is a mixture, obviously, of both live action stuff and then CGI around the face and the eyes and all that. But I thought it was just it was cool. It was a tracking character,
little mole creature kind of thing.
Yeah. It was just he or she was just a cool little character.
I was gonna save my theories as to who the Sith was, but now that we're talking about him,
okay, go for it. Basil. Basil crossed my mind at one point there.
Ain't no way.
But he was the first one. He was the first one to get to Kalnaka, and he didn't alert anybody until May got there.
You're right. Yeah.
How the Sith was floating? Maybe that's just.
Maybe it was. It was really. Maybe he's the Sith Lord, and the other one's still the Sith Apprentice.
Imagine
if Basil's the Sith Lord, guys. That'd be so funny. Yeah, that could be cool though. I mean, it could be
the greatest twist of all time.
That would be an amazing twist. Yeah. Okay, it could be. Let's throw that out there. Everything is on the table, guys.
Hey, that splash on Kelnako was Basil height, so
honestly, yeah. Was it just me, or did your seem like more mature or more like he was spinning bars? This he wasn't like he wasn't the jokester like he usually is.
He wasn't the jokester, but we did get a couple of nice moments here. I thought that were really cool.
He was spinning faster,
and Osha. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like he's an interesting character because he's a bit like the village fool. At the same time, he's the Poindexter is the best way to put that character. And that refers to like the nerdy character who, again, I think we've said last week was like follows the rules and by the book. And I think there's definitely some great character development if he lives long enough.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Yeah. But we do get a couple of cool little moments here in the forest. We see them traveling. Again, there's a lot of Jedi there that can be taken down. So it's going to be an interesting fight that we're going to be seeing. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to throw another question out there, guys. This episode had some interesting stuff going on, visually and production-wise and everything like that. Now, Leslie Headcamp has said, the director, the series showrunner, has said that she's almost tried to isolate a boundary of a certain film around each episode as a vibe to the actual episode. If you were to say what was the vibe of this episode to a film that exists, do you have any thoughts about that?
Predator. The first one.
Okay.
With some of the shots, especially on the hill, I was kind of getting Fellowship, Lord of the Rings vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
I could see that.
Going through the forest.
That's probably what I'd say.
Following, just walking in line, talking.
Yeah, okay. That's also a good one. I actually like that. I also got some, if you've ever seen it, The Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
We've got this, you're going from the big open sweeping plains and then you're going into these little dark swampy forest kind of things.
I don't remember the movie.
The big rat.
Yeah. I mean, so anyone out there who's seen The Princess Bride, it was a film done in the I want to say late 80s kind of thing, and it was.
Oh really? I thought it was with like Anna Hathaway or something like that. Oh my god.
Maybe it was early 90s. No, it was it might have been early 90s actually, but no, Princess Bride is Andre the Giant. He's a really big guy. You had I can't remember half the cast.
That's the only one I know from.
Yeah, I don't remember their name.
Oh really? Okay. Anyway, basically there are definitely some vibes that are that too, but definitely Lord of the Rings. Any other thoughts? Any other vibes this episode kind of gave off as feature film or film vibes that you've come across? Because I just I thought I'd throw it out there as a question. As for the audience, anyone out there who's watching, any vibes that this episode gave you at all? I'm kind of curious. We got some big bugs.
I hate bugs.
I'm looking at the picture. It does give me those vibes.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely yeah. So we got some really cool. Okay, I gotta say, who else was saying? Don't touch the bug.
Don't
touch me. I'm like, bro, you really gonna touch that? You don't know what?
I knew she was gonna touch
the tree. I didn't think at first. I did not realize it was alive. I thought it was part of the tree.
It looked like one of those cicada bugs.
I was like, that's like a bug, like latch onto the trees. Like,
no, I thought the tree. I was like,
I was like, no.
What did they said something like evil or something like they said something around those is in the forest and just contaminating the trees or something like that.
I think I think it was Basil. And then yours like, there's something in the tree. There's something evil in the forest.
Just some evil in here. And then she was like, oh, let me touch it.
Yeah, let's touch it.
But it seems like she's starting to get her force abilities back. Like
she's
with the force again. Which is
she connected with it and like woke it up from its hibernation kind of.
Yeah, and then it tried to kill
got killed.
She
set it up.
But here's the other thing I also admire about this was the fact that she remembered, obviously not just remembered her Jedi training, but still had this massive belief about, she was the one who woke it up, and she felt bad. She woke this up, and Sol had to kill it. And there was this element there of like very Jedi traits of, even though she was no longer part of the Jedi Order, I've got the feeling she regrets leaving the Jedi Order, to be honest. But, any thoughts on that, guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I just think that the main reason she left the Jedi Order was because she couldn't grapple with the loss of her sister. And now she knows her sister isn't gone like she thought. So I think maybe she's thinking, oh, well, that was the thing holding me back. Now I can fully embrace that side of me.
Yeah.
Also, earlier... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Also, earlier in the episode, before they leave, Sol walks up to her and says, I need you on this mission. And she's like, oh, because you want me back in the Order? And she says it as though her answer would have been yes.
Yeah, like she's waiting for him to ask her.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
She's waiting for somebody to ask her.
Yeah. So they've got this nice setup. This what I like about the thought process on this. There's little subtle hints that are very, you have to listen to what they're saying, but you're getting all these little hints along the way that these characters really, have been thought out. And I think that's what some of the audience might be missing, the ones who are not into this show as much. This really is a well thought out show. And thought out characters and thought out development. We just haven't seen the big picture yet. And like any mystery, you won't see the big picture until you get to the end. And that's what I've been enjoying about it. Just jumping back, we've obviously had, these moments here, and quite the reverse, I'm going to say, between May and Q. There are moments and expressions. I kind of grabbed a screenshot here of one of the expressions on her face where he's talking about what the Sith, who won't be named, kind of wants and needs from her, and she's questioning her perspective on the reverse side of that. And so we're getting both of the sisters questioning, their loyalties and
it's kind of like
their decisions.
Yeah, because how like Osha, she was like, now that her knows May's alive, now she wants to go back into like following the Jedi and thing. And May's like, now that she knows, oh, Osha's alive, I'm gonna go leave the Sith.
That's it.
I don't think. Yeah, because May's not an evil person.
No,
May was doing this out of like revenge and like just pain that she thought her whole family was dead. So that's why a lot of people are upset about how sudden the change is. But she found out her sister was alive, which was her driving force. So.
Yes, exactly.
And in episode 1, when she could have easily killed the bartender, but his kid, but she has a heart.
What I felt, though, was interesting, too, on the contrary, talking about more red herrings, is that we're led to believe that May's like the dark and Osha's the light. But the moment both sisters found out one another was alive, Osha has been talking about killing May. And the second that May finds out, she wants to be with her sister. So I just thought that was weird.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if they just imagine.
Well, but here's the weird thing, though, is like there was that moment again with Osha where Osha is kind of, genuinely like concerned about the death of this bug and goes back to that too. It's like, I don't know if she would actually be you're saying there might be a flip side there or choice or...
I think that because May was already disappointed by everyone, there's no way to turn her. Gotcha. But with Osha, she has such faith in the Jedi that the moment Sol disappoints her, that's where her fault's going to be.
Okay. Oh, I like that. That's interesting. So you think we might see a turn of Osha and towards the dark side herself?
Yeah, I think she's more at risk than May is. Especially because May has more practice.
Well, again, jumping to the end, but there is something that happens at the end there too that we'll talk about soon enough.
And Q even tells her, like, he says, if you like submit, if you like give yourself up, you're going to jail, right? Or like you're gonna get Jedi, like. And she was like, I don't care. I'm like, right. Well, she's willing to go to jail, like, so
Like, as long as I know my sister's safe, I was like,
exactly.
I'm good. I don't care what happens.
That's big right there. That's big.
Yeah.
And another cool parallel happens in that same scene too, because when Osha's leaving for the Jedi, May says, "I'll kill you," and then now May's leaving to the Jedi, and Q is essentially like, "He will kill you," like literally.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. That's good.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. And so we get to the point where I'm going to assume it was May who set the snare for Q and get him hanging upside down, trapped in the... That was interesting. Like, I mean, two things happened there. One, her yelling for help also signaled the Jedi closer, which was an interesting moment, and whether that was just by perchance, but it was the one cry that kind of also set Q up on this, getting himself caught upside down. Which makes it more obvious and more, like he very well could be this Sith apprentice lord, whatever the Sith is going to be. Because at that point, that's the last time we see him, and we see and follow May into Kalnaka's house, and of course we have a very freshly cut lightsaber blade across the chest. Still smoldering, which I thought was a very nice touch. Show just how recent that was. I didn't expect Kalnaka to kind of die at this point. Did anyone?
Yeah.
At least
I thought he was at least gonna have a fight. I thought he was gonna have a fight or something.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to kill him off screen.
Yeah.
It does bring more mystery, but at the same time, I want to see some lightsaber battles. Already. So, but
I was like scared.
Remember what they said? Like pretty much like all the trailer. I think Daniel said it last week. All the stuff that we've seen in the trailer is from episode 1 and 4.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna see everything like we see going forward is gonna be brand new. That we've never seen.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's what excites me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They kind of half expect an audience to piece together part of the story from these trailers up to that point. So now that we've got all those pieces explained to us, we are going to have totally unexplored territory, which I think is great. Yeah. But Kalnaka dying, I mean, I guess, in the sense of the way they were setting up each of their lead characters who we thought part of the 4 and Sol was now the last one, I guess it was a quick death, and so were almost all the other ones at that point in time too. They were relatively quick within the event of the motion of them being on screen time.
I saw that someone had said that May finally killed a Jedi without a weapon because, like, in a way, she indirectly got Kalnaka killed. Because...
That is true.
I hadn't thought about
she instigated it. She was like, I'm going to leave.
Interesting.
In that picture you showed of Kalnaka too, I kind of noticed like almost a witch accessory in the back. It doesn't look like the same thing that was there earlier.
I think it's just more of the artwork. You're talking about on the right?
I think it's just his drawings.
I feel like it's part of the artwork. Yeah. I mean, I took there's just production design in the background, but it's hard to tell. There's obviously. I'm more curious about the monitor that's to his right there, because the monitor looks like it looks like a signal or a tracking or something that's whether that was tracking.
Probably like his research desk where he's like using
tracing
all the symbols.
Yeah. Anyway, at that point, Osha meets up and gets out there, and look who turns up, Smiley.
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 I'm trying to understand the logic behind the design of this helmet. I'm sure there is a purpose for its design. I find it a little weird. I don't know if I fully accepted it as a Sith Lord design.
Well, the back is exactly that's Kylo Ren.
Yeah, it's it's a very Knights of Ren, very Knights of Ren vibes kind of thing.
Yeah, 100% Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the cracks going through it and everything like that. It's a very old mask.
But remember, Kylo Ren took a lot of inspiration from, like his cross-bladed lightsaber. It's mostly from the High Republic. It's like an older style saber. So you can say that he took a lot of inspiration from the people from the past, the Sith from the past.
Now, going back to this image again, there is this whole moment with Osha just staring at the Sith, and this goes back to what you were saying before, Julie, that there might be something there that is possibly hinting that Osha might end up by having a moment in the future with the Sith Lord and be the.
Yeah.
She either knows him or because she was staring for a long time. Me, if somebody turned around like, bro, did you see how the Sith came in there like a specter
floating?
Like,
it was so cool.
That shot was sick. That shot was sick. That shit was menacing, bro. Like it was. That was amazing.
Yeah, and then I saw people having a problem with that. I was like, "How are you having a problem with that?" Like, it's cool.
That was badass.
That was awesome. Yeah. It was creepy too. It was just this great. It was almost like paranormal ghost thing floating.
But
and especially too. Oh, go ahead.
Go. You go, Julie. Go.
I was gonna say like. Especially too, what set the tone was the moment May realizes that he's there, and she says it. The sun disappears, and it turns all.
Yes.
Yeah. And Osha,
you can see like it turns darker. Yeah, like
she's frozen in fear.
Yeah.
Osha, she's like frozen in fear.
Well,
so like it's kind of crazy.
I've seen some parallels between the face-off that Osha and the Sith have at the end of this episode, and episode 2 when she faces off with Q, and he's like, "You look just like her." And like that's very similar there. So I think that could be another thing meant to like make us believe it's Q. But
could be. We still could be all wrong, and it might very well be Q. But
well, if it's Q, it has to be just based off the body. Right. Like the body was very slender. It's either Q or I'm thinking it's a chick under there. Like. Just based off the body.
See, I'm still gonna go back to my theory number 1 from day one, which had felt like it's
Carrie-Anne Moss
Indara. Yeah, that's just my personal thing. I think she might very well be able to survive a stabbing to the region of the heart and use the.
I think it might be. Was it Kara?
But again, that also would weaken the Jedi even more so. Is the only thing, and I don't know if an audience would accept that because they got that from Palpatine weakening the Jedi from within, even though he was not, and there would be a lot more to say about that sort of thing. Well, then again, would it be because would the Jedi Council actually, allow that information to be released or not, in the future.
At this point, the council doesn't even know about this stuff, really. Right. They're keeping it from them.
But they also didn't know Palpatine was sitting right under their thumb either, even though they knew there was a Sith Lord. So,
that is true.
Fool me once, fool me twice, and I don't know if they'll go that route.
Right.
Indara, that's the only reason I have a slight doubt with Indara, but it also feels like they might. I don't know. It feels like it has to be someone we've seen.
I don't know if I was rewatching the episode, and I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys peeped it, but when after the Sith flings Osha with that scene to me was so hilarious when he did that when she flew off
right here. I tried to get it. It's kind of dark. But it was like boom. It was great.
Get out my face, bro.
It was so cool. Yeah,
and then when they force push, they grunt. Which sounds kind of like a dude when they grunt, or maybe it could be the voice changer. Did you guys hear that? The grunt?
The grunt?
Yeah.
No.
Go back if you go back and go back and watch when they force push. You can hear it sounds like it's modulated through the mask. You can kind of get a grasp of the voice. I'm trying to figure out who it is though. Yeah.
Interesting.
Check that out.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out again. Anyway, at that point, they all get pushed back in one single blast of air, force push, and we get this sudden moment of the end credits. No,
I was so mad. I'm like on the edge of my seat.
I know.
Talking is about to go, and then just credits.
Yeah. And I hadn't checked the time at all, so I had no idea we were that close to the end, and then just boom.
Me neither.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
It felt like it was just like this episode went by so quick.
Yeah. Again,
talking and then walking through force and bam.
I guarantee you that next week when we see the episode after that force push, I guarantee you Soul is gonna land. Soul is gonna land like in those badass and like
the superhero landing.
Yeah, he's gonna be still landing standing while everybody else is on the floor.
Yeah,
and to show that he's stronger than the other Jedi.
Yeah.
One thing we forgot to cover was that Soul, while he was talking to Osha, has a line where he says, "I'm going to explain everything when we get back to the ship."
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yes,
that is true.
He signed his death sentence.
Yeah, he just said, "I'm gonna die." Pretty much.
That crossed my mind.
I don't want that to happen.
And now that you've said that, I get back to the ship, and if that would become technically episode 6, if that was the case, because we know they're going to be on this planet till the end of the next episode, I'm guessing.
Right.
But if you consider the fact that, hang on a second, where was it gone? That the showrunner, that the directors, where did I put it? Oh, dope, I've missed it, lost it again. The directors, there it is. Yeah, since the directors of... Yeah, I got a feeling that Soul's going to die, because we're not going to learn about this second part of that story until episode 7. Yeah. So I feel like, I've got a feeling Soul could die there. It's okay. Well, let's do it. Let's do this. This is one of my questions.
I hope not. Not.
We have a bunch of Jedi. It is obvious who are going to be getting taken out. Do we have any predictions as to who, if we lose any major characters as part of this next episode? Do we think this is an episode 5? We're going to get an episode 5 Anakin Skywalker moment from Ahsoka kind of thing. We got this big reveal. We're going to get stuff going on. Do we think we'll get this death or a few deaths? Any thoughts? We've already said Soul, we guess.
I mean, I think that's interesting if they kill Soul. And then just to imagine that changes. That's good. I think that'll change Osha's complete. Like she might end up going for revenge. That might end up pushing her more towards.
Oh, interesting. Because you've also got Jackie too, who's the current Padawan.
Yeah.
And how will that play out? Because we did get a lot between Jackie and Osha in this episode.
And Osha, So imagine, like you said, the dad figure dies, and then both daughters seek revenge. Like that could be. I think that would be cool. That would be super cool.
Yeah, and how does that transform Jackie in her mindset of I feel like Jackie might be the reasonable voice behind all that.
Yeah, I feel like Jackie's more level-headed. Like I feel like Jackie would take, because she mentioned when the bug died, Jackie was like, "Isn't it great to just see something become one with the Force?"
Yes. Oh yes. Yes. That's it. She did too.
It's like different. So I feel like if Soul was to die, I feel like Jackie wouldn't necessarily see it as a negative. Like Jackie would take it as like, now he's one with the Force.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So she might be the more level-headed one, where Osha would like go off the rails.
Yeah.
And imagine she.
That's the entire scene in general too. Who was just like, yeah, she came with the Force. Like you experienced it more than me though, but like, why did she have to hit her with that?
Yeah, that's savage. That was savage.
Yeah.
I hope Yor doesn't die. I like
that was the other character I'm afraid for.
I was just gonna say that, especially because of the conversation that he had with Osha about protecting May. I think something's gonna happen or almost happen to May, and because of Osha, protect May.
Yeah,
maybe and bite the dust, or we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say Yor, Jackie, the twins, and Basil make it out, but I think all of the Jedi that we don't know are gone, and I think Soul is probably going to die. So I think of the main characters, I think Soul is the only one that's not going to make it off this planet. But
you're right. I mean, that I did get that vibe that when he said that line, I completely forgot to bring that up. But he said that line. It was like, I'm going to tell you to get back on the ship. No, you're not.
I was going to say something, but I forgot. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Also, too, like. When Soul felt the darkness, because he felt it multiple times throughout the episode, it almost kind of felt like a familiarity with when like Darth Vader felt Obi-Wan on the Death Star.
Right.
Was like...
But also, here's the thing: this is probably the first time that any of the Jedi have felt anything that dark before, because they really don't have a Sith Lord popping in there, or Sith apprentice, whoever it may be, popping in their back door every day, kind of thing. So. For him, it was almost like I always got this impression that it was like there's something really wrong here, and I've not felt this before, but it feels wrong. Rather than this feels like a dark side presence. Was I
got a bad feeling about this.
That's it. Yeah, if you go towards Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn when they're talking, and it's just like that moment, a Sith Lord, I can feel the presence kind of thing, and they know what a Sith Lord is to feel the presence of a Sith Lord. But here, Soul doesn't say anything. It's like he's aware of the darkness, but he doesn't understand it, or he's never felt it before. Almost in my imagination there, which I found interesting, and that was through performance. Again, if you look close enough, the eyes and everything, there has been some amazing performances in this show because it really is about expression in their faces. Vanestra has some great expression in her eyes of, between elements of concern and doubt and everything that, if you look at them, look at her eyes and it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. You're telling a second story here that feels like anyway, that's my thought there with that.
Well, I think, so there's a moment right before they get to Kelnaka's hut where Soul, stops, just in his tracks. He stops walking, he, looks off, into the distance, and Osha says, what's wrong? And he says, oh, it's nothing. And I feel like he knows at that point that Kelnaka is dead, because he sensed Torben's death before they walked in.
You're right. Yes, you're right, too,
But there has to be a reason that he would sense Kelnaka's death and decide not to say anything until they get to it. So I wonder if he didn't want them rushing in there and attacking May. He wanted to analyze the situation first. But I think he knew going in that Kelnaka was dead.
He was dead. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense too. Good
he kind of wanted to protect her a little bit because you could tell he still feels guilty about letting her or believing that she died.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely think he really, he didn't know that she died. I still feel somebody bumped into young May when she fell down to the ravine. Someone picked her up and, walked her out. And, whether it was a dark side person, whether it was another character, I can't wait for that story to be revealed for sure. It's going to be interesting.
But when Soul says that she died, I trust him. I think he genuinely believes that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, no, totally. I don't see any darkness in Soul's, thing. I mean, if anything, well, actually, there is one thing, and there is one sequence we haven't seen yet, and that is that it looks like was it Vanestra who's got the lightsaber,
the whip.
Yeah, and that looks like it could be on this planet. So the question is, do we get additional help to get them out of this? Just
they call for backup.
Maybe.
Kelnaka's hut, the thing you pointed out, the monitor. Maybe that's him sending a distress signal.
Ooh, yeah, that could be it too. He might have got
already.
He might have got a distress signal off, and that might have alerted the Jedi. Ooh, because that would explain it. There's more. By the way, I have one other prediction for next week. Actually, I've got two. One other prediction. This episode was called Day. I'm willing to guess next week's episode is called Night. Yep. Because of course we got the twin. Yeah, we got the twin things going on. Of course, day
especially
and night, and yin and yang, and exactly, yeah. So I bet you next week's episode is called Night. I also have another prediction. The one bug that was woken up from that whole thing, attracted to the light from the lightsabers, might be the Jedi's way to at least escaping from the Sith, because if the Sith walks along with his red saber, that's going to create a distraction and at least have a whole pile of bugs
rush him, swarm him.
Yeah. I feel like that was set up for a later purpose. Is my guess there too. What else have we got? What other predictions do we have for next week, guys? Anything else you can think of?
I feel like it's going to be a bloodbath.
Bloodbath? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to die. I feel like there's going to be a lot of I feel like there's going to be a change of character within either May. I found out what I wanted to say.
Hey,
this
Richard.
is a question for you guys.
Yes.
What's up, Rich? My boy. Do you guys feel like one of the twins are going to die? Like May or Osha?
Ooh.
I don't get that feeling, at least not yet, because I feel like they've semi-announced season 2, and I feel like this is an ongoing thing for those characters. That's just
no, I agree. Yeah. I don't think either of them are going to die, especially if they have plans for future content with these characters.
Yep.
I was just on that. That'd be. I mean, at the end.
Yeah.
So they did confirm a season 2, because I haven't heard anything about that.
I think no, they haven't confirmed a season 2. I think Leslie Headcamp has left it open, is what she said.
Yeah, and she said she wants to do one. Like she has plans for one. So
yes,
but just imagine if Osha ends up dying and then May has to like carry on. That'd be just crazy.
And become a Jedi. You meant May becomes the Jedi. That's an interesting.
Imagine.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Sorry. Sorry. Go for it.
I thought too that going back to when Osha faces the Sith or the Master, I thought that it was interesting that he kind of flung her aside because it shows that like he could have easily killed her right there and then, but he obviously wins.
Yeah. Well, it also goes... Sorry.
Go ahead. You go first, Brent.
Oh yeah, I was going to say because if you also consider the fact that again there's this unnatural birth, we've got another dyad of the Force, if you want to call it that, where there's two of them. It's not a one character kind of birth. So either one could be your dyad, your possible chosen one. And again, as we know in the future, it's Anakin, of course, 100 years later. But you've got this element that everybody's searching. I feel you got the Sith who are searching. You got the Jedi who are searching. They're looking for this dyad of the Force, and this could be it. And so I feel that we could have a I don't want to kill you just yet kind of vibe, because you could be it, even though we've got May in our back pocket.
Yeah, that's similar to what I was going to say. I just think if the theories are true that they are a dyad in the Force, we know that they would be more powerful together than if you only have one of them. So maybe he's just throwing her to the side. He wants both the twins to come work for him together.
I didn't even think about that. That getting both of them would be a
imagine.
I like that.
Yeah.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Any other last thoughts, guys?
Now I'm ready for episode 5, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see that fight thing go down.
Yeah.
I feel like next week we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
I feel like it's going to be crazy. Yeah. I'm hoping we get a little bit longer too of an episode. But yeah.
This was more mainly set up for next week. This was just all set up mainly for next week. Yeah.
So there was you go ahead, Julie.
I don't know if we're about to say the same thing, but there is this one shot from the trailer that we still haven't seen regarding the Master, and it's of this red saber basically cutting across cheese through the board. And I'm just really excited to see that, because it's a very Knights of the Old Republic vibe. Like, I know that they usually throw their sabers and show combat with using their sabers without holding them, and if that's something we'll see, I think it's pretty cool.
That's got to be next episode. The Force and everything.
Yeah.
And then what I was going to say is the writers that worked on this episode, one of the writers came out and said that they wrote this as one singular entity. Like, they wrote these 2 episodes together, and this is just where they decided to cut it.
Makes
and
sense,
that next week will be longer, is what they've said. So.
Oh, really? Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just looking for runtime.
That goes more into the Lord of the Rings, though, too.
Right.
It's all one entity, and they cut into 3 random parts.
Into 3 parts.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, definitely. But that makes sense too. Completely. Yeah. Very cool. One other thing I want to add that I want to just talk about, because it's worth respecting the artwork. The poster art, they've just dropped a whole pile of new character posters. This time, of course, we're getting a brief description for each of the characters as such. But I've always, huh? I think her lightsaber. Her lightsaber apparently extends out from that, and I don't know how that is exactly in the phase of how it works. But we are getting some nice new character posters of each of these characters. I never realized Torben had a yellow lightsaber. Now we do, which is kind of cool.
It's Torben time.
It's Torben time.
It's Torben time.
Unfortunately, it doesn't add too much more of their character. We get Yord, of course, which is like Yord.
Yord Vendor.
Yord's a Jedi Knight and a Guardian from the Jedi Temple, and is an overachiever. That's an understatement. And a rule follower. He is highly trained, devoted, disciplined, and dedicated to the defense of the Republic. But his need to be a by-the-book Jedi can cloud his mind. I like
that. I like that they said Guardian too, because what we already know from canon is that the yellow sabers are for Guardians.
Guardians,
for like
exactly,
protectors.
Yeah. The other one that came out this week is Osha and Pip, which is kind of cool. I won't bother going to reading every one of these, but a nice one of Mother Coral,
the Sith Lord.
Yeah. The Sith. Oh yeah, well she still could be. You're right. She might still be. There's a very good chance she might.
You mean the Master?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be throwing around.
So.
Yeah. No, she's a contender. She's a contender along with Basil. And then the last one they put out there is Khmer.
God, the silhouette is so similar to the Master, though. It's like,
He's still my top runner for it. Like, I know it's obvious, but
they're making it so obvious.
I think they will do it.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
So obvious. I hope.
Yeah.
So. I hope it's
Okay. The shiftless drifter and seemingly no cares at all, other than his own amusement. Khmer Q is a former smuggler and now makes his living as a trader. Mind you, this could be all a false story as well. Procuring unusual things and enjoying life and leisure. He's a supplier who also has survived some of the shadier starports of the galaxy. But he seems to know a hell of a lot about these Sith Lords, So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, which makes it interesting. I mean, what if he is like the Igor of a of a Sith Lord too? I mean, maybe he is the maybe he's not quite a what are they called?
Like an apprentice or like a
not even apprentice. No, I'm thinking of a
Acolyte.
No, not even Acolyte. I'm thinking, they don't even exist at that point. Twirly braids. Twirly. Oh my god. Inquisitor. Wow. But I'm saying, like, could he be an early idea of an Inquisitor or a go-to person who seeks out this information? I don't know. Anyway, or it could just.
I've heard a theory that I'm going to share here. I don't know how much faith I put in this, but that they're making Khmer the Sith Lord obvious on purpose because he is the Sith Lord. But that's not the mystery we're supposed to be focusing on. Like, the whole mystery of the Sith Lord is a red herring for something deeper that we're ignoring. So,
well, again, that's
interesting.
I feel like he's the apprentice to the Sith Lord rather than the Sith Lord itself.
Yeah.
So, do you think he's the acolyte, and then there's a sort
No. The acolyte is still May.
May.
Yeah. Because, I mean, again, going back to it, Ventress was an acolyte to Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
He was searching for her, and they, with the acolyte, they can defeat the Lord, the Sith Lord.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what this acolyte, I keep wanting to say Sith Apprentice because I really believe it's the Sith Apprentice we're following, not the Sith Lord.
I think so too.
I agree with
that. And then overthrow the Master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Big Bad has not been seen.
Yeah. Vader was trying to do the same thing with Sam Witwer's character, The Force Unleashed, kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Starkiller?
Starkiller, yeah. Well, guys, unless there's any other thoughts at all, any other questions, any other thoughts, any other theories, anything else you want to put out there? Otherwise, we'll finive up here.
I'm ready for next week, man.
I'm ready.
You guys better be ready for next week.
Yeah. They've already said that episode 5 is like the crazy episode of the season. So, I'm excited to see what they do. It's the Anakin Skywalker popping into Ahsoka kind of episode, which was episode 5 for that show too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
episode
5 seems to.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for everybody who was in the chat, and if you get the chance to watch and you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We will be reacting next week. We don't know for the exact same time, but we'll try to shoot for roughly around the same time next week. We will have a lot to talk about next week, I'm sure, of episode 5. And thank you for joining us. And
thank you guys.
All right, Rich. We'll catch you all later.
Yeah.
All right.